Well, evening, fellow zombies. Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? Are we emotionally screwed up and sleep deprived? Or are we emotionally deprived and sleep screwed up? Sounds like me right about now, anyway. So here it is. Shall I dare mention the date today? It is 12:33 in the morning on a Friday, September the 13th of 2024. I was waiting for something dramatic. Okay, screw it. Your zombie Weaver, John C. of Roseman, California, I hear is supposed to be back in bed sleeping, and yet I woke up to the dreams of nightmares that woke me up. Not very fun when you actually see these things coming out at you and you see part of the effects and they drive people crazy. It just does. Excuse me. Well, discover getting older. I have these weird habits that young people generally don't deal with. Okay, so here we are for another day. Finally, another class session comes where I can actually get a quiz going on and see how bad I'm going to be flunking out of this class. But we're still sticking with it. To me, it's not a complete flunk out unless I've actually pulled out of the class and saying, screw it, I can't do it anymore. I haven't said that. I'm still going to continue doing this thing. I've stayed away from all the political malarkey and claptrap out there. You got the fingers pointing left and right. They're still shouting at each other left and right. Look at this person, look at that person, see this, see that. It's like going into a circus or a weird ass carnival and hearing all these people say, see this thing over here and how this thing is and what this thing is. And by the time you see the act, you're wondering how come you paid to get into the place in the first place. You thought you heard something about it that was supposed to be so exciting, so intoxicating, so. And you got sold by P.T. Barnum. That's why I keep seeing that all these barkers left and right regarding the politics. See this, see that. No, thank you. I'm not paying the money for that one. I got enough issues as it is. Thank you very much. Yet, unfortunately, the politics are still out there to gather our attention because this is the only way we deal with our country. It's pure political theater. I imagine they had that too a long time ago. When candidates kept blaming each other for this and that and everything else and still trying to get their political whims and political jobs because if they didn't get them, what were they going to do? Their egos would not last that long. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it happen left and right. I'm seeing the independents having a field day. They're still like piranhas over the. I saw the big show this past week, and then I heard the people going beep 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 beep, beep afterwards. If that wasn't bad enough dealing with that situation, imagine dealing with a scare that's already torn apart people's homes and livelihoods left and right. And one lunatic they get a criminal shot of, he's smirking, he's laughing his ass off at the picture and everybody else. It's the kind of shot that there is no logical reason in his head. He just likes to have fun with this. He thinks it's funny. People's livelihoods, people's businesses, homes, dreams, past memories. There was a lady being shown put on social media like crazy. One who's just got 3 Tupperwares left. 3 Tupperwares left? I'm trying to talk to people back east on what fire's like. I mean, what a massive forest fires can do to people and communities, and how fires can go into those communities and tear them apart left and right. Hell, we've been having them for a long time. Canada, if I'm not mistaken, last several years had major fires like that, and it took out communities. It took out large tracts of forested land. The smoke and the ash fall going to the east coast blanketed everybody else where the skyline was just pure red. I know that feeling. I've been there, done that. And it's not fun going outside trying to breathe. Even out here right now in Roseman, California. We are miles and miles away from this stuff, but given the chance that the wind might shift a little bit, just a little bit, in our direction, we'll be getting blasted with the smoke and ash. At nighttime, it's quiet because there's not that much activity happening, but during the daytime, when it gets heated up, when the atmosphere gets heated up, we'll get the wind started again, and they'll start blowing like crazy. And then those who've lived in other areas, like I've traversed and lived in, breathing issues become priority at that point. You couldn't keep the windows open. You had to keep them closed with the air conditioning running. There goes the energy bill because Edison will be after your ass, and DWP and anybody else for that matter, even out here. We've been having our own small fires out here too. Jump about 10, 20, 30 acres until they get taken care of. So yeah, this fire season is not going to end. It's still continuing, perpetuating, and it's still terrifying people left and right. So how can I tell the people on the East Coast about this one? Because they haven't had any majors. Well, we had a bit of a shock. That's about it. We had a earthquake about 4.7 in Malibu, and everyone's going to freak out about that one. Here we hadn't felt anything like that. Now, if it was a 6 pointer up in Ridgecrest, yeah, we'd feel it. We felt the one out in Bakersfield. That was a good size thump in the ground. We felt it out here too. Felt a little bit of a roll. Sometimes we'd feel a little bit of the aftershocks. So yeah, a very busy week. And then there was a spacewalk. I think I was talking about this a while ago. I just hadn't thought I've actually had the videos posted just yet. Now, how do I feel about commercialism out in space finally, when we can actually get private companies trying to make sure their product is safe and not about to fail? Aerospace companies trying to get their product working. I know one company did, and so far they haven't had any issues with it just yet. I'm still waiting for the yet to happen. Seems to be reliable enough. They tested the thing enough. They think they know what they're doing. Okay, so put your faith and trust in it, right? Not the CEO who's lost his freaking mind a long time ago. I don't know what it is with a gentleman like this guy. Kind of a history he has, personal history. He has to make certain issues the most horrific. I think it's enemy driven, and he's got to get his company out of California because he can't stand what his family is. I don't know what his major malfunction is. I really don't. By threatening people's lives and jobs and economies left and right, he's more than willing to do that because he's got to burp his ass on that one. And it still hurts like hell when you think about it. My mind also turns to Rancho Palos Verdes. You got a engineer out there who keeps talking about stuff about it and telling you the dangers about it. Yeah, well, they got engineers and they got geologists out there, and they're with politics happening. They still don't know what the hell to do about the community itself, except probably to tell them to get the hell out of Dodge. especially when you're dealing with forces of nature that they can't control. And people have lived there for a portion of their lives that they made memories and commitment to. It's just no longer feasible. They don't know what to do about it afterwards. That's one particular disaster until they see the other people are getting places burned down because of some damn lunatic. But the rancho is not from a lunatic. It's from nature. Nobody knew there were slides in there. Nobody knew that the ground was still creeping for all those decades. Now it's more and more apparent, and there's nothing to do to change it. If there was a way of engineering-wise to stabilize the ground, I hope they find it before the whole community goes over. But I'm still freaking and shaking and concerned about the fire situation. I think I've said in my many videos about the fire situation affects me a great deal. I've lived in a tight community called a valley that has about 3 million crammed into it, or at least more than 1 or 2 million crammed into it. And for about almost close to 40 years, give or shake about a year or two, I've seen that valley grow, change, mutate. But I've also seen hillsides, even when they're denuded with chaparral brush, dead trees. They can also go up in flames. And it concerns the hell out of me that if stuff like that happens again, the communities have already been formed for the past 20 or 30 years, maybe longer than that, growing up along the hillsides, trying to make more and more a place for it. I'm more concerned about them being burned alive. I'd seen the valley with different sections of it going up in smoke throughout the years. And yeah, it scared the hell out of me every time summer came up, because there would always be the time of fire, and always seeing places burned down left and right, hearing people crying about their home gone, seeing whole trailer communities go up in like matchsticks. And knowing that in one particular community, somebody actually had a home there at one time, gone up in smoke. And every year I had to keep seeing the fires, either by the red hues or by the smoke or by the lick of the flames. Come out here to Antelope Valley, you think you're going to get away from it? No, I don't think so. Because you see the fires coming through the mountain passes, through the hills, and along the plains. I try to smile at the damn thing, but it's not humor. It's not. I'm not laughing at it because I'm laughing at a misery that happens. Plant fires just hadn't burned anything else down except for chaparral and brush. But to get too close to the communities, that's a different thing altogether. That means people's homes, lives, livelihood. It's one thing seeing industrial complexes or even small shopping centers go up in smoke, because that's a section of community that won't be replaced. People at places that you've gone to for business or pleasure, up in smoke, gone, history, ashes. Will they ever reconstruct somewhere else? It's one thing you look at it as morbid fascination, but it's not that. Consistent traumatization of it. Yeah. I'm reminded too much of people's misery every time I keep seeing that stuff. I don't talk about it as much when it came down for geology and when it came down for earthquakes. I've had my fair share of earthquakes myself. 71 through now. Yeah. Fire, flood, valley fever, buildings shaken down to the foundations or just crumbling to the foundations. Drive by neighborhoods and you see in certain parks where there's tents popped up. National Guard trying to house and feed people temporarily. Some of those guardsmen may live in a neighborhood and they understand how that feeling is. Everybody had to be pitching together and trying to take care of each other in those days. We're still worried about something like that happening right now as it is. I won't say it. I'm not quite sure if my town will be pulling together as a community. Got too many mouths on social media with the keyboard warriors spouting off stuff left and right. Do you think it's logical or not? No, they try to make it political. They try to point to one guy who's going to solve it all for them, and it ain't going to happen. Or one woman's going to be solving it all. She's not going to solve it all. She's got to be part of a team to solve it all. But one guy claims he's going to solve it all because he is... What the hell is he again? I think he's touched and anointed by God, and he's not. He's just a damn con man. We've seen his actions for 4 frickin' years, and we've seen his trumplicants screw things up left and right. But they are the ones going to be claiming all the damn good stuff, and everything else going hell in a handbasket. But they'll blame everybody else for it when everything else goes bad because it's all everyone else's fault. But if it's good, it's their fault. It's their thing to claim because that's the only thing they can do. Won't take responsibility, accountability, or transparency for their own damn stupidity. Or for people following them left and right and swearing absolute fealty, loyalty, and then worshipness. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. I know that's not a word, worshipness, but, belief, extreme belief when you're worshiping this person. Thinking this person is going to solve everything, and they're just falling head over heels. It's like, I can't deal with that kind of situation. I can't deal with the concept that a mortal man is going to solve every one of your damn problems here. Give me a break. Not one man is going to be solving all of your damn problems. Usually takes a community or certain things that happen before your problems are solved. But you still got to take the actions yourself. You still got to do something about it, don't you? But no, I hear people griping up, complaining. And I'll go on to YouTube and hear the zeros and ones lock me into a certain voice box I can't get out of. This chatterbox of certain things coming bouncing at me left and right. I can't get out of it. Turn on the news, that's what I'm seeing. It's the chatterbox still going on. You gotta listen to this, you gotta listen to that. Listen to me. Why? Because I say so. Yeah, I say so. Yeah, but what about me? I say so, don't I? I count. So does anybody else that watches these things. I know people are keep asking themselves, why do they keep watching some of the stuff I keep putting out? I don't know. You tell me. We'll both know. You tell me. I'm not all that fascinating. I'm just telling a life story of what the hell I've been going through these days. And emotionally, things have gotten screwed up. And then other times I'm doing okay. And mostly I'm a caregiver for a dog who's very neurotic and needy all the time. Not exactly the easiest thing to do, but it's the thing I do. When I go to school, I encounter people, I encounter topics, I try to learn stuff that I hadn't thought of a long time ago or come across. concepts that I still have to open my brain for, just to see what's going on and if I can actually understand it or not. Then if I have any context to relate with that and do a compare and contrast on the damn thing. But for the most part, I'm just living day by day. How is it that when I do the title of my channel, The Diary of a Griever named John Weaver, I gotta throw in this one here, going, which is me. How is it I'm able to do something like that? I've been asking myself for a long while. Talk about my own miserable existence in life. I feel like I'm going, pity me, pity me, pity me. Not necessarily. I said, yeah, I know what I'm going through, and maybe some other people have gone through it. Maybe they're relating with it. Okay, I can understand that point. The channel originally was just basically a lifeboat for me to get my own damn misery out there. My own thoughts, feelings, and anything else happening, and making it into a trail of breadcrumbs just in case I happen to go into a situation where I can't get out of, and maybe the only final exit is going to be the only final exit. So I wanted a way for people to track this out. How many times have I come across people who have gone through the act or actually post things on there? Most people don't even understand reasons why that final pathway. Or do I dare use the S word, suicide on that one? Suicide by this, suicide by that, suicide by yourself or by somebody else's actions, which gives them a life of hell. Thank you very much for passing off your misery. Well, we're dealing with suicide. We're dealing with cessation of life, voluntarily or involuntary. But if it's suicide, we always assume it's voluntary. What if it's involuntary? Well, then what would they call it? Do I happen to use the M word on that one? But if it's a choice, then it does become a suicide. It does become the action decision. The responsibility is still in that soul because they're the one taking their life and they can't deal with anything anymore, and that's it. They're done. They chose. We have moral problems with that one, don't we? We have moral scruples. We have our own philosophies, beliefs, social norms. We tell people that suicide is bad. Don't do it. Life. Yeah, well, I was thinking about that one there until something else happens, and then you have to make that other decision. Is it right to do so for another person? That we call it murder if we happen to do it for the other person. But for that one person still deciding for themselves? These are the weird-ass thoughts I'm thinking at around midnight at this point, trying to make interesting conversations. Probably going to be pissing off the algorithms left and right on this one because algorithms and also humans can't deal with it. How am I supposed to be dealing with it? I freak out a therapist every time I keep trying to bring up the topic of suicide because she's so concerned. And when she is concerned about it, one time when I'd failed to communicate fast enough, telling her that I wasn't feeling so well, and I just wanted to get myself, you know, more time between sessions there. Something happened and I was depressed as hell. I don't even remember what it was. And I was trying to tell my therapist, look, I don't need this. I don't need it for right now. Because it would have been a perfect time to talk to her about it because she would be asking me questions. Why? Can you answer me that one? I think I'd be looking at her computer screen just saying, I don't know. You're trying to pinpoint me. You're trying to make me pinpoint something over here that I don't know. It's undefinable. And until I actually get a definition of the damn thing, I can't talk to you about it to let you know what's going on. Till that time, I'm just dealing with it. But you feel like you want to. Well, I'm not quite sure if I really want to or not. I didn't get a chance to talk with her about it. Next thing I know, I got a thump on the damn door, and I got sheriff's department coming over here doing a health and welfare check. I mean, I got to do a fast run on them. I got to do a fast word salad on them. Then after that, I'm like, I may do a dry chuckle on that one. I'm not saying that getting therapy is bad. It's necessary. It's necessary for someone's social well-being at the time, especially when you need to talk to somebody else who you may not be able to talk to friends or family, anybody else, just to get your stuff out there. I do tapings left and right. I do my own therapy sessions on this one. I think they were helping to a point, but I needed extra help on the damn thing. I can only do a bounce back on myself trying to figure the shit out, and I still come up with the same damn conclusions. I need outside perspective on it. That's why a therapist. That's why I had to go outside my comfort zone on this one and talk about crap like that. I'm talking to crap with her about politics now. Ugh. And I'm talking about fears and phobias. Medical establishment I really don't like. All my life got PTSD from them. Thank you very much, you schmucks. And earthquakes, thank you very much, Mother Earth, scaring the crap out of me. Mankind was this fascination over a fiery plasma entity. And likes to see everything else go burn in hell. Oh yeah, those things are lovely things, aren't they? Not really. Random topics coming out of a brain that's still trying to figure out why it wants to stay up or not. Part of it still wants to go back to bed and sleep, and the other half is still saying, we need to talk more, we need to do more word salad out here to drive people crazy. And my question to the people out there still listening to this stuff, is this word salad actually helping you out or putting you to sleep? Because if it's putting you to sleep, then I know it's got to be working on some level. I did the live feed because I was scared about my therapist not being available for communications. Meaning I was supposed to have an appointment and nothing happened, and I was wondering what happened with her. So I sent messages. Nothing bounced back, so I had to do a live feed, maybe. Talking about other things that were scaring the living crap out of me. And the reason why I'm doing this one here, too. This is basically a word salad kind of a video here. Talking about stuff off the top of my head. I don't have a specific topic. What they call a stream of consciousness in the brain, especially when you think you're a writer and you learn all these damn fanciful stuff in English classes. The thing is, you got to write. Well, for me, I think, and now I got to talk. And I got to get the stuff off my head, off my chest. My brain wants to generate more, but part of the other brain is saying, no, let's sleep. I'm more inclined for the sleeping part right now as it is. So that being said, if you guys gotten sleepy yet, if you actually gotten into a mode of, I can't even talk right today. If you could translate that, be my guest.